Blender 3D is kind of overwhelming with things like geometry nodes, simulation nodes, animations, sculpting, modeling, and more. It can be hard learning where to get started with Blender or how to pursue more advanced skill sets. In this video, we're going to be going through the best places to learn Blender in 2024. First, we're going to go ahead and cover free learning resources. Then we'll take a look at paid courses. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'll tell you what I think the 3 best Blender tutorials were of 2023. Let's dive in. Starting with the free stuff, we have this channel here, not a YouTuber, but a great Instagram resource for tutorials and tips. Next up, this channel here has a variety of Blender 3D topical content with a focus on realism and rendering cinematic scenes. This more recent channel has some nice, simple character sculpting tutorials. Now, this channel doesn't post frequently, but the few videos that they do post on here are great insights into the process. This channel has lots of tips on how to create epic sci-fi and environmental renders in Blender. Not a ton of videos on this channel, but some excellent grease pencil breakdowns of some very cool scenes. Now, this channel's mostly time lapses and YouTube shorts, so not tutorials per se, but they're very easy to learn from with a cool art style. Another Instagram recommendation that posts frequently and fast tips for Blender. This channel here has an amazing free character creation and rigging courses, and this is just paid quality education for free. This channel gets a ton of views on every tutorial and for a good reason. They're high quality VFX oriented tutorials with concise explanations. I love this channel because it's hilarious and entertaining all at the same time, but it also has a lot of great tutorials, usually focused more on animation and motion graphics. Another channel full of great content with a variety of topics, but specifically, I love the material-focused videos of this channel. This channel's been growing over the last year with a lot of awesome geometry node and like abstract type tutorials, which isn't super common, so it's great to see channels tackling this content. Yet another channel focused on that same type of geometry node content, with a lot of advanced deep dives and breakdowns of the process. This channel is incredibly great if you want to really deep dive into the power of geometry nodes. This channel here is run by a professional who works in the industry and shares a lot of knowledge. The tutorials are professional grade, deep diving into specifics of rigging, and we'll be talking about this channel later as they also have some great courses as well. Now, here's one of the older Blender channels that I actually used when I was first learning Blender, and they're still around doing a lot of great content. They cover a variety of Blender topics and definitely worth checking out. Another variety channel that's been around for a while with a lot of visual effects, nodes, and effects-focused tutorials. They deep dive into the math behind the nodes a lot, which is super helpful for not only teaching you how to make the content, but understanding what you're making. Love this channel here with their focus on NPR rendering style. If you don't know what that means, it's non-photorealistic rendering. So if you're interested in toon shaders or doing kind of 3D, 2D effects, this is a great channel for learning. Now, I love this channel specifically for its amazing product rendering tutorials, which is something you don't see on many channels, which is unfortunate because working in the industry, it's a large portion of the 3D work that I see on contracts. Blender Bob's channel focuses on technical and fundamentals of Blender, simple, straightforward videos that just explain the technical aspects. Now, this channel is mostly Unity, but also uses Blender, and just tossing this channel in here because I get a lot of questions about Unity in the comments, so if that's what you're interested in, I'd recommend coming here. This channel's always impressed me with their short film demos, but they use a lot of photo scans and visual effects to make some really cool artwork on this channel, and they also break down some of the process, and there's a lot to learn there. This channel does a lot of motion graphics character type work and shares the process in the tutorials, which is super helpful for learning. Love this channel for their simulation tutorials, and in particular, I really love this fire tutorial that they did a while back. This channel has a lot of studio type work, focused tutorials on animation, materials, and more. A great channel for grease pencil tutorials, specifically on how to achieve certain styles in grease pencil, including breakdowns, animations, tutorials, asset packs, and more. Now, if you're part of the Blender community, you've already heard of this channel. However, if you are new to the community, the Blender Donut tutorial is the cornerstone of most Blender beginners' career opening. So this is a great tutorial for first opening Blender and kind of diving in to learn the interface. Now, this channel posts little secrets and tips and tricks every single day in 45 to 60 second increments, and I find myself returning to this channel a lot just to refresh my memory on little tips and tricks that I've forgotten in the past. Yet another one of the biggest Blender channels you've probably heard of, but it does a mixture of entertainment and education, making it really fun to watch. Ducky 3D you're probably familiar with as well, yet another huge channel, but if you're new to the community, they cover lots of amazing motion graphics and material tutorials. Here over on this channel, it's great for efficient modeling videos and a lot of video game modeling series of tutorials, doing edits and models for things like mobile games and how to optimize those models. Just an incredibly great channel overall with a variety of content, but mostly focused on modeling and texturing. This channel here has a lot of sculpting tutorials and time lapses. They also have some courses. However, I recommend checking this out for their amazing rendering and lighting style. Another one of the older channels that I was using when I was learning Blender, amazing lighting and hard surface modeling tutorials with a focus on realism. Lots of great professional content here. This channel here does a lot of videos on correct topology and hard surface modeling, a lot of professional content that'll really help you produce high quality models and not just make artwork that looks good, but is also functional in a production pipeline. This channel run by Curtis Holt covers the more technical sides of Blender, including development and add-ons, but it's more of a variety channel with a lot of content mostly related to Blender. Kev Binge works in the visual effects industry and has a lot of videos revolved around VFX-oriented scenes in Blender, bringing in a lot of knowledge they have from the industry, creating some high-quality content. Now, I can't possibly cover every great YouTuber out there, so make sure to comment the ones you think I missed in the comments below. So next, we're going to dive into some paid resources. These courses usually offer more advanced, concise, and focused education, which can help speed up the learning process. Disclaimer, some of these are affiliate links. First up, I just want to suggest that I have courses on Skillshare. I'm working on some new courses this year, and I gear them towards doing everything for the first time, such as characters, rigging, and animation with simple, quick, hour-long exercises. I want to give a special shout out to Ducky3D's new course, which is based off his old motion graphics course, but new and improved, increasing the lesson amount by twice and coming out January 1st, 2024 with a discount. It has a lot of great knowledge packed in. I definitely recommend you check it out. CG Cookie is probably where I had the most success getting over that beginner's hump. This is really where I went to learn in the beginning. It's a subscription-based service where you subscribe and you get access to a variety of content from different creators, very high quality, and definitely a great point to speed up your learning process. Now, we mentioned Pierre's YouTube channel earlier, but they also have some extremely advanced courses on animation and rigging. They just released a new Unreal Engine 5 course hosted on the same site for visual effects if you're interested in that as well, but I highly recommend the animation and the rigging course. I own both of them. CG Boost has both free and paid resources, and they just released this awesome grease pencil course, which I definitely want to check out this year. It helps you render this amazing scene here while walking you through the entire process of mixing grease pencil with 3D workflow in Blender. Gleb Alexandrov has 3 excellent courses on hard surface modeling, photogrammetry, and lighting, all of which I recommend, and they're currently working on a new course which is focused on creating nebulas, which looks really cool. Now, Skillshare is a great site which also has a free trial. They have a variety of content both on and off Blender. So if you want to learn things like composition, color, marketing, or design around the content that you're creating, it's great for that as well. I host some of my classes here as well, which will be linked in the description. Who better to teach Blender than Blender themselves? Blender Cloud is a great resource for intermediate users looking to become advanced. They also put up all their project files as part of the subscription, and you get the benefit of knowing that you're supporting the wonderful people over at Blender. I rarely see flip normals appear on Blender resource lists because they don't only cover Blender, but Flip Normals have some affordable and advanced courses on Blender and other software that is incredibly useful if you're trying to gain industry knowledge and take your work to a professional level. All right, so we've gone through all these resources, but what do I think are the top 3 Blender tutorials of 2023? Well, check out these 3. So first up, how to animate everything with absolute shape keys. One of the most popular tutorials on my channel is on shape keys, and I love this tutorial, which shares additional info on the process of animating with shape keys with entire animated shorts. How to make procedural fur in Blender 3.5. This works for current versions of Blender as well, but is it any surprise that Blender Studio themselves would make great educational content? Of course not. This is a fur tutorial, which is perfect for getting started in the world of hair and Blender. Not strictly Blender, but Animating Legs, Walk Cycles, and Weight by Doodly is an animation-focused tutorial that gives a lot of insight into digestible format on how to better improve your walk cycle animations, and I recommend this for any Blender user looking to animate. What about you? Do you agree with my top 3 choices? What would be your best Blender 3D tutorial from this year? Comment it below. Also, if you're struggling to learn Blender, just stick with it. I promise it gets easier, and hopefully these resources help speed up that process.